Welcome back to DeChamps Rants and Reviews. I'm Mark DeChamp Deschamps, and today we're going to be talking about PlayStation's latest State of Play presentation. So over the last few weeks, we've seen the big three video game giants release big presentations online. We got a Xbox Developer Direct, we got a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, and this time around it was PlayStation's turn. And I have to say, if you look at all three of them, I thought PlayStation had the best one. This was a really impressive showcase. We had uh, we had a lot of games that had already been announced that honestly keep looking better. Um, that was the thing that struck me. So this was like a really long presentation for Sony. It was over an hour, and it was pretty jam packed. We got some announcements. We got some looks at games that had already been announced, and that was the thing that struck me first off was that the games that I am already excited about for 2026. I'm more excited about them. I've talked if you're a follower on this channel, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm very excited for a couple of Capcom's big games this year. I can't wait for Resident Evil Requiem. I can't wait for Pragmata. I did a video the other day after playing the demo. I was very impressed with the hands-on, and both those games showed up at the State of Play today. They both looked excellent. I cannot wait to get my hands on Resident Evil Requiem. I'm very eager to see what Capcom does with like the next main entry in the series. What's to come with Leon. I'm very excited about this. I just think he keeps looking better. Speaking of games that I was already excited about, Star Wars Galactic Racer. It was announced at the Game Awards in December. It was one of my highlights of the show. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm also a really big fan of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and Star Wars Racer Revenge on PS2. So this really looks like they're trying to channel those games. It looks like a spiritual successor, and I was really impressed with what they showed today. We didn't get a really good idea of what to expect other than spiritual successor to Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This kind of gave us a little more of an idea. It looks like there might be some more story elements. It really feels like Star Warsy. One thing that I thought was really cool is it ended with an appearance by Ben Quaterneros, who was one of the characters from Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. So I'm amped. I thought this looked great. I've been on such a Star Wars kick playing Star Wars Outlaws lately, and I'm excited that I get to have another like Star Wars game to look forward to in 2026. I hope that ends up being as exciting as it looks. Um, so yeah, those games were already ones that I was excited about. Another one was Beast of Reincarnation. It got a big appearance at the Xbox Developer Direct. It's the new IP from Game Freak, the creators of Pokemon. I think that game looks excellent. I'm very intrigued by it. It's so bizarre to me still that this hasn't been announced for Switch too. I'm gonna be playing it regardless on some platform, whether it be on my PS5 or my Xbox Series X. I don't know, but it looks good. It's such a weird direction for Game Freak. As I said in my Xbox Developer Direct video, um, it, Game Freak likes to do things that are unusual. So it's not too weird, but like this is still like probably one of the biggest games we've seen out of them that wasn't Pokemon. So I was impressed with that. We had some cool announcements. I have to say, as great a job as Capcom did, Konami, man, stole this show, which was mind blowing. I said this on my Blue Sky account. Konami totally could have like their segment of the State of Play could have been their own showcase, and like people would have been calling it an A+. Konami alone knocked this out of the park. This so first of all, we have a new Metal Gear collection coming, which is pretty cool. Whatever. It's some old games getting re-released, which is neat. But we got another look at Silent Hill Townfall. We don't have a release date, but I'm guessing we'll probably end up seeing it in the fall. We've now had 2 years in a row of Silent Hill games being released and doing really well in that window, like that fall, October, ish window. I wouldn't be surprised if Konami did that again with Townfall. Looks really interesting. But the big deal, the big like out of nowhere announcement was we have a new Castlevania coming out, which is really really cool. Um Fans have been begging Konami to do something with Castlevania that wasn't just, a collection of older games. We've gotten a handful of them at this point, I think three. And that's great. Like, it's great that these older games were made available again. But what fans have been really wanting is a new 2D, Castlevania. And we have it. It's coming out. The name is Castlevania Belmont's Curse. It is coming in 2026. What's really cool too is it's kind of a budget title. We already have pre-orders up available on a few different retailers, and it's going to be $39.99, which is great. Like at a time where video games just cost a lot of money and it's difficult, you have to make a lot of tough decisions. $39.99 at launch, like for a brand new Castlevania, that's exciting. Like that's hard to beat. Um, yeah, I'm excited, and Konami has already hinted that so this is the 40th anniversary of the franchise. They're saying that there's going to be numerous new products. So like I don't know if they're gonna do the Silent Hill approach that we've seen over the last few years, where we're gonna get a regular stream of games again. But it's worked out for Silent Hill. I mean, that's exciting. I don't know if Castlevania can sustain that, but we'll see. I mean, it's just great that this is back. Konami has been missed. We had several years of Konami not doing anything other than compilation games, and now we're still getting the compilations. We got the Super Bomberman one last week. We had the Metal Gear collection announced today, but we've got Silent Hill Townfall coming, and we've got a new Castlevania coming. That's fantastic, and that to me that made the whole state of play worth it. But there was other things to be excited about. I'm a big Marvel guy. I've been reading Marvel comics for decades now. Not to date myself too much, but we got a new look at the new Marvel fighting game that PlayStation is publishing. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. It's coming out August 6th. Interestingly enough, we got to see the X-Men really highlighted in today's trailer. And what I thought was pretty cool is they picked some really interesting characters. We're gonna have Storm playable and Wolverine, which is Storm and Wolverine. They're two of the most iconic X-Men, if not the most iconic and recognizable X-Men. But they went with two like deeper cuts. Magic, Ilyana Rasputin, which she's been getting a bigger push over the last few years. So it's kind of debatable how deep of a cut she is. But the other pick is Danger, and that's really cool. So basically, it's the sentient Danger Room, introduced in the Astonishing X-Men comics from Joss Whedon and John Cassaday, and it looks really cool. It was like a really interesting way of coming up with a deeper cut Marvel character to use for this game. As much as I love Marvel, I'm really interested to see if this is going to be for me. Like, it looks like it's going to be kind of intense. I like fighting games. I like the Marvel versus Capcom fighting games, most notably. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to hang, and that's going to make it tough to really get invested in this. So I don't know. I mean, PlayStation's got a few months to kind of win me over, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, it looks good, and like that alone is exciting enough. There were a couple things that I just were kind of for me. Marathon, I'm hoping Bungie's had a hard time recently, So I hope it ends up being a success. It does look, I mean, it looks cool. It's just not, I know going in that's not for me. And sometimes, especially when you've covered games as long as I have, like that's not going to be my thing. Um, the John Wick game that got announced today, it looks kind of cool from Saber. Um, but it was tough because they just didn't show enough of it to really get a gauge for, what we're getting. I like the John Wick movies, so I hope it ends up being cool. But that's kind of a wait and see. Um, I'm happy for the God of War fans. I know a lot of people are excited about the collection, the remastered trilogy of the originals that was announced today. I will say, as somebody who's like never played a God of War game, I thought that the announcement of like a 2D God of War was actually really interesting. Um, Son of Sparta, and it's out today. Like, if I was going to get into God of War, like this would probably be like the game that would be like an intro for me. It looked kind of Metroidvania-ish. So like that's kind of exciting. And honestly, it gets to one of my bigger complaints about PlayStation over the last few years. They've focused so much on AAA games that I really feel like we need to see them utilizing their IP and doing some smaller stuff. And hey, a 2D God of War game, like that's kind of what I've been saying like they need to do. Like we need to see PlayStation being a little more creative with their properties because PlayStation is such a deep bench and there's so many that are untouched. I mean, and that's the thing, like it is and it isn't what I've been complaining about. Like on one hand, yes, it is a smaller game, um, but I would have preferred a new Ape Escape or a Legend of Legaia, HD or something like that. But it's still pretty cool. I'm interested to see how it turns out. One thing that I was excited about is Mina the Hollower is getting a demo on PS5. It's a PlayStation exclusive demo, which is kind of a bummer for anybody that wants to play that on any other platform. Um, I will be checking it out and I will be sharing some impressions on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. I like Shovel Knight a lot. I like Yacht Club games. So I do hope that that turns out well. I love the Game Boy Color art style that they're using for this one. So yeah, I'm hoping that turns out pretty good. But yeah, overall, man, I thought Sony kind of knocked it out of the park. If this were like the overall lineup for like a Game Awards or any Jeff Keighley showcase, like it would be one of the best ones. There was just so many things to look forward to. And the thing with State of Plays is I feel like a lot of times there's just a lot of duds or there's a lot of things that I know, like I said, aren't for me. And overall, I just thought no matter what you were into, you probably came away pretty pleased. I know a lot of people were disappointed. Insomniac's Wolverine game didn't show up. I know that's a disappointment. I know that that's, one of the biggest PlayStation 5 games people want to know more about. It's supposedly coming this year. Um, so we'll see, what happens there. I think it looks good from everything shown. I hope it delivers. And I get it. I get why people are disappointed it didn't show up, but hard to be disappointed as a Marvel fan or, a PlayStation fan in general or just a gaming fan because like a lot of these games are going to come out on other platforms. So, I thought overall, man, what a great show. Little things like the Rayman 30th anniversary edition is coming out, tomorrow. Like it's coming out, this week. It's February 13th, depending on when you're watching this. So I think that's fantastic. Like, just a lot of really cool announcements, both big and small. Like this is more what I would have liked to see the Nintendo partner showcase be last week. I was a little bummed out with that. But great showing. I want to know what you think. Did you watch the state of play? Were you as impressed with it as I was? Did you think it was better than the Nintendo Partner Showcase last week and the Xbox Developer Direct that happened a few weeks ago? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll think about subscribing. Like I said, I'm going to have those Mina the Hollower impressions coming soon. I did get a chance to play Pragmata recently, so if that was something that interested you during today's state of play, and you want to hear what I thought of that, go check that video out. But thank you so much for watching, and you take care.